From Mbare Musika to online store, a vendor's journey. You know what they say about Mbare Musika? Hapana chau sina waniro pambare. There's nothing you can't find at Mbare, but what if I told you that one of the vendors here found something nobody expected? She found her way to building $1 million online business while keeping her stall right here in the dust and noise of Zimbabwe's biggest market. Today, I'm telling you the story of Mai Chenai and how she took the spirit of our mothers and grandmothers and mixed it with technology to create something incredible. The humble beginning. Mai Chenai wasn't always selling online. In 2016, she was exactly where thousands of other vendors are right now, waking up at 3 a.m., catching the first combi to Mbare, setting up her stall before sunrise. She sold what her mother sold, what her grandmother sold: dried vegetables, mufushwa, mubura, derere, the things that connect us to our rural homes, the tastes that make Zimbabweans in the Diaspora cry when they remember home. But there was a problem. Every day, she'd prepare her products beautifully, arrange them on her table, and wait. Some days were good, customers would come, but most days, she'd pack up the same vegetables she brought in the morning, take them home, and try again tomorrow. The rent for her stall space was $30 a month, but some months she barely made $100. One day, after a particularly slow week, she sat on her bucket behind her stall and did the math. After transport, stall fees, and buying stock, she was making maybe $2 a day. $2 for waking up at 3 a.m., for standing in the sun all day, for missing her children's school events. She looked around at the other vendors. Everyone was struggling the same way. Too many sellers, not enough buyers. And the buyers who came wanted to negotiate until you were practically giving things away. That's when her daughter, Rumbi, came home from the university with an idea. The Facebook post that changed everything. Rumbi had been studying at UZ and she'd seen something interesting. Zimbabweans in the diaspora, especially in the UK, South Africa and America, they were always posting in Facebook groups, "Where can I find real mufushwa? I miss mubura so much. Does anyone ship Zimbabwean vegetables overseas?" She told her mother, "Mai, these people are crying for what you're selling. They have money, they're willing to pay, but they can't come to Mbare." Mai Chenai was skeptical. She barely knew how to use WhatsApp properly. How was she going to sell vegetables on the internet? But Rumbi insisted, "Just try, Mai. Let me take some photos. We'll post them and see what happens." They took photos on Rumbi's phone. Not fancy photos, just real pictures of the vegetables. Rumbi wrote a simple post: "Real Zimbabwean dried vegetables. Prepared the traditional way by my mother, who's been at Mbare Musika for 15 years. We can ship anywhere in Zimbabwe and internationally." She posted it in 3 Facebook groups: Zimbabweans in UK, Zimbabweans in South Africa, and I Miss Zimbabwe. Within 2 hours, Mai Chenai's phone wouldn't stop ringing. The first order came from a nurse in London. She wanted 5 kilograms of mufushwa, 3 kilograms of mubura, and 2 kilograms of neve. She was willing to pay $80 plus shipping. $80 for one order. Mai Chenai usually made that in a whole month at the market. By the end of that week, they had 15 orders. The problem now wasn't getting customers. The problem was, how do we get these vegetables to London, to Johannesburg, to Texas? The obstacles and the breakthrough. Now this is where most stories would tell you everything became easy. But this is Zimbabwe. Nothing is ever that simple. Mai Chenai faced problems she never imagined. First, shipping. The post office wanted $60 to send a 2-kilogram package to the UK. That made her products too expensive. She tried DHL, even worse. She almost gave up until she found other vendors who were grouping shipments together through cargo companies. By combining orders, she got the shipping cost down to $15 per package. Second, payments. How do people in London send money? She didn't have a bank account that could receive foreign currency. Her daughter helped her set up EcoCash, but that only worked for local orders. For international orders, they started using Mukuru and World Remit. Later, Rumbi set up a PayPal account linked to her own bank. Third, the biggest problem, consistency. When you order something online, you expect it to arrive the same every time. But Mai Chenai was buying from different suppliers at Mbare. One week the mufushwa was dark green, next week it was lighter. One batch was perfectly dried, another was slightly damp. She realized she couldn't just be a vendor anymore. She had to become a producer. This is what changed everything. Mai Chenai went back to her rural home in Chivi. She talked to the women in her village, the ones who knew how to prepare these vegetables, the proper way, the traditional way. She made an agreement with them. You prepare the vegetables to my standards, I'll buy everything you make at a fair price. She created her own supply chain. The village women had reliable income. She had consistent quality products. Everyone won. And you know what the beautiful part was? She was creating jobs in the rural areas while selling Zimbabwean culture to the world. The growth. By 2018, 2 years after that first Facebook post, Mai Chenai was processing orders for 200 customers a month. She had expanded beyond just dried vegetables. She added peanut butter, maputi, groundnuts, mahu powder, even traditional herbs and medicines requested by customers. She hired 3 people to help with packing and shipping. She was working with 25 women in Chivi who were preparing products. Her daughter Rumbi managed the social media and customer service while finishing her degree. The business was making $3,000 to $4,000 a month. But here's what I love about Mai Chenai. She never closed her stall at Mbare. She still goes there 3 times a week. Why? She says, that's where I meet my suppliers. That's where I understand what people want. That's where I stay connected to the real market. The internet can show you numbers, but Mbare shows you people. In 2020, during COVID, when everyone was locked down and couldn't go to the market, her business exploded. Zimbabweans locally wanted vegetables delivered to their homes. Orders from the diaspora doubled because people were feeling homesick and nostalgic. She had to hire 10 more people. The lessons. Lesson 1. Your traditional skills have value. Mai Chenai wasn't selling anything new. She was selling what our grandmothers have always made, but she found the right market, people who valued authenticity and tradition. Lesson 2. Start where you are. She didn't wait to have a fancy website or a big investment. She started with a Facebook post and a smartphone. Technology doesn't have to be complicated. Lesson 3. Solve a real problem. Zimbabweans in the diaspora wanted real food from home. Local people wanted convenience. She provided both. Lesson 4. Never forget your roots. Even with all her online success, Mai Chenai still values Mbare Musika. She knows that's where her business started, and that's where it stays grounded.
Thank you, Mai. Your market looks even better now.
Lesson 5. Build a community, not just a customer base. She's not just selling products. She's connecting Zimbabweans to their culture, supporting rural women, and keeping traditions alive. Today, in 2024, Mai Chenai's business, Kumusha Flavors, processes over 500 orders a month. She's working with women in 3 provinces. She's employed 15 people full-time. She sent her 3 children to university, and she's built her mother a new house in the rural areas. But if you go to Mbare Musika on a Wednesday or Saturday, you'll still find her there, sitting on her bucket, sorting through vegetables, talking to customers, staying connected. Because she knows something important. You can take the vendor out of Mbare, but you can't take Mbare out of the vendor. This is the Zimbabwe spirit. This is how we take what our ancestors gave us and use it to build our future. From the dust of Mbare to screens around the world. If Mai Chenai can do it, so can you. Subscribe to Zimbabwe Spirit Keepers. Let's keep our spirit alive.